Salt Papi, a feared name in the YouTube boxing scene and one of the best technically skilled fighters on social media. His past fights have made influencers such as KSI and Jake Paul straight up terrified of him. We're gonna be going over everything on how he went from crushing it on social media on TikTok with a massive following to becoming the true undefeated champion of the YouTube boxing world. Salt Papi, aka Busta Breezy, which was his old dancer name, may not be a household name yet, but he's already making waves with his great skills and a massive following outside the ring. He's a total social media star with over 5.1 million followers on TikTok and 161 million likes on his videos. He actually first became famous because of his hilarious parodies of Salt Bae, and he used to be all about that junk food life, posting pics and videos of him chowing down at Five Guys and Nando's. But now, after focusing on his fitness, he's a fighter and the star of Misfits Boxing. So let's talk about Salt Papi's first fight, which was against Halal Ham. This was the moment when Salt Papi officially stepped into the ring and proved to all of his haters that he's much more than a social media star. The fight took place in March of last year, and Halal Ham was no joke, but Salt Papi held his ground, showed off his skills, and ultimately won the fight by decision. One thing that really stood out in the fight was Salt Papi's incredible footwork and speed, which were especially impressive given his size. He started the fight off with some classic feints, then hit Halal Ham with the left straight that showed he meant business. But here's the thing that really set Salt Papi apart from all those social media boxers. He didn't just rely on his power to win the fight. Instead, he used his brain and strategic thinking to outsmart his opponent. He set up punches, created angles for attack, and used feints to keep Halal Ham on his toes. There were 3 stages to Salt Papi's domination of Halal Ham. The first was peppering. This was where he showed he could handle the opponent's aggression without breaking under the pressure. The second was cooking, where he leaned forward and opened a window for counterattack. And the third was salting, where he mentally destroyed Halal Ham with his feints and setups. But that doesn't compare to Salt Papi's second match, which was against Andy Worski. He started off the fight by throwing a couple of feints to see what Andy would do, and then bam, he hit him with the safest body jab in human history, setting up for the kill shot. He threw some more feints with his front hand, causing Andy to move up his hands to protect his face, and then just like that, Papi saw his opening and landed a crushing combination that knocked Andy straight to the mat. It was a Mike Tyson style knockout, quick, technical, and confident. Papi's performance was off the charts, showing his incredible high level of boxing skills. He didn't rush in or get overconfident. He stayed focused and prepared, displaying a championship mindset. However, he didn't need much time to prove himself as the ultimate champion. In just 29 seconds, he knocked Worski down to the ground, stealing the spotlight and becoming the talk of the town. Salt Papi is always down to jump in the ring and throw down, so it's no surprise that he joined the Misfits boxing circuit right after his debut match in May of 2022. Since joining, Salt Papi has already scored 2 wins on the Misfit boxing series, including a savage knockout of Josh Bruckner recently. This guy was undefeated in both MMA and boxing before he ran into Salt Papi at the January 14th Misfits and DAZN X Series 4 event in London. So yeah, it's safe to say that Salt Papi's popularity skyrocketed after that. He's gained a massive following among hardcore boxing fans, and after his win against Bruckner, Salt Papi celebrated by wrapping himself in the Philippines flag like a boss. And during the fight, Josh Bruckner was so freaked out by Salt Papi's skills that he could barely concentrate on winning. You see, Salt Papi's actually left-handed, which is pretty rare in boxing, which made it tough for Bruckner to prepare for him. And if you want to beat a southpaw, you gotta have killer footwork. Bruckner spent the whole fight just trying to avoid Salt Papi's punches, but he was so predictable and hesitant that Salt Papi had him figured out in no time. He set the rhythm of the fight with his front hand and broke it whenever he wanted to throw Bruckner off his game. Salt Papi just kept lulling Bruckner into a false sense of security with his front hand, and then bam, left straight to the face. And because Bruckner was so preoccupied with avoiding the headshots, he was an easy target for Salt Papi's body shots too. And after he knocked out Bruckner, many fans began to theorize that he had competed as an amateur in the Philippines before moving to the UK as a teenager. However, Salt Papi himself denies these rumors, stating that he was simply a fan of the sport and began training seriously only last year. Growing up, Salt Papi was a huge fan of boxing, citing Manny Pacquiao as his biggest inspiration. However, despite his love for the sport, Salt Papi has never had access to a boxing gym, and he's never really trained properly until last year. Instead, Salt Papi trained on a punching bag in a normal gym and watched a lot of boxing tutorials. However, it wasn't until he was approached to compete in a fight on the prelims of last March's Showstar boxing event that he decided to take on the services of a trainer. Through promoter K. Shaw, Salt Papi met his current coach Solomon, and the two worked together for several months to perfect Salt Papi's technique. And the hard work paid off, as Salt Papi quickly made a name for himself in the boxing world with his impressive knockout of Bruckner. Salt Papi maintains that there is no record of any amateur bouts in which he competed after he moved to the UK at the age of 13. And because of his skills and technique, pro boxer Ryan Garcia even gave Salt Papi a shout out, urging him to go pro. But who knows what the future holds for Salt Papi? Right now, it seems like he's still focused on the crossover boxing boxing scene and taking on the likes of Jake Paul. But because of those insane skills, both KSI and Jake Paul are afraid of coming face to face with him in the ring. In an interview, Papi discussed the possibility of a matchup with Paul and issued a warning that it's better for Paul to fight him soon before he reaches his full potential or his final form. And get this, Salt Papi was even offered a fight against Floyd Mayweather Jr., the Prince of Boxing, but he actually turned it down because the money being offered wasn't enough for him. Now, some boxing fans were pretty mad at him for passing up a chance to fight one of the greatest boxers of all time, but Salt Papi had his reasons. And he's not dwelling on it either, because he's got another fight coming up on May 13th in the Misfits boxing show. This time, he's going up against Anthony Taylor, who's got a bit more experience than any of his previous opponents. Taylor's got a record of 2-3 in sanctioned boxing matches and 7-5 in mixed martial arts, including a 2-3 mark in Bellator. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup for sure. Will Salt Papi come out on top again? We'll just have to wait and watch. But one thing is for sure, Salt Papi isn't just another influencer turned boxer, he's a legit fighter who remains undefeated and he's showing no signs of slowing down. So thanks for watching, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single one of our updates. And once again, make sure to stay gloved and I'll see you in the next video.